All right. Hello and welcome to Just Animals Podcast. I'm Elle, and with me as always is my dad, aka Guy.
Hello, Pod World. It's been a while, but I'm back. I'm still here.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And back as always, Sam the zookeeper.
And I'm still here too.
And she's still here too. And we have two very special guests checking in all the way from Adelaide, Australia. We have Shane and Pauline from Talking Batty. Go ahead and say hello to everyone.
Hi. Thank you.
You guys are
great to be here.
Very good at following instructions. All right, before we get into Talking Batty and the fantastic work Shane and Pauline are doing, we do want to give a shout out to Dana T, all the way from Alabama, believe it or not.
Alabama.
Even though she did go to my rival school, she is an Auburn alum. We'll forgive her.
Is she vaccinated?
I don't. That's a good question. We'll have to email her back.
Yeah.
I'm assuming since she likes our podcast, she probably is. I'm just gonna think that she probably is. But yeah, she
Talking Batty, AlabamaWildlife.org.
No,
is that what we're doing?
Adelaide, Australia.
No.
Not even on this continent.
Well, you just said about Alabama.
Because we're trying to give a shout out to our fan Dana T from Alabama. Can you stop? All right.
We're out of
Thank
practice.
you so much, Dana, for listening and for reaching out. And she has some animal requests too. And I'm trying to think, there was one other thing. Yeah. Anyways, thanks for listening. Oh yeah, for whatever reason she finds our podcast relaxing, which I don't know how. But she was like, "Yeah, I put it on. It mellows me out. It's relaxing. It's very soothing. So sometimes I even fall asleep." I'm like, "How?"
She must be a glutton for punishment.
Right. I'm like, it gets kind of rowdy on here. But anyways, thank you, Dana, for listening. We love you and appreciate you, and keep in touch. All right. So now on to our guests of the hour, Shane and Pauline. So go ahead and tell us how Talking Batty got started and how you found yourself in the world of bats, of all things. I mean, we love it, but, to the average person, it's kind of like, how did you end up with bats?
Yeah. Firstly, I must just say Pauline's on hotline at the moment, so our 24-hour bat hotline. So if the phone does...
Wait a second. Is it?
Yeah,
it's not
Batman.
called bat phone.
It is the bat phone.
Oh yeah, come on. Oh, there it is. There it is.
Phone. And we have a bat.
Do you understand the reference? I don't know if you had Batman from the 60s.
Oh yes.
Okay.
We grew up watching that. So yeah. So if
Pauline
disappears, she's taking a call on the bat phone. So.
Do you guys also have that big searchlight with the bat thing? That you can put out.
We're working
you don't have that. Okay. Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, do you want to give out your bat phone hotline number for our Aussie listeners if they need help or they have a bat in distress?
Can we give that to you at the end?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You all got that information at the end, yeah. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So I'll just say first about the Talking Batty part is that how that came about is that we find when we're with members of the public doing rescues that they don't know very much about the bats. And we thought that an education program needed to be done. So we just chatted about it one day after doing that netting rescue that the gentleman, the resident, he was livid. He didn't understand. He just wanted to get rid of the bat. Unfortunately, it was deceased, so we couldn't save him. And all the way in the car, we talked about it, saying, how can we get to the public? That's how it started. How Shane started in fauna rescue, I'll let you explain that one.
Yes, yeah. Well, I started in fauna rescue before. I'm retired now, but before I retired, I joined fauna rescue and started to do rescues for bats and did training, and then with my work.
Training for humans or the bats?
No, bat training. Yes, we do quite extensive training to look after them and to rescue them because a lot of the rescues we get are difficult, like one's caught on barbed wire and one's caught in fruit netting and things like that. Yeah, they're pretty horrific. So we do training on how to do certain rescues. We're all rabies vaccinated if we handle them. Now, we don't have rabies in Australia, but we have, there's less than 1% of the bats can carry Australian bat lyssavirus. And because that is a rabies-like disease, our rabies vaccinations protect us against bites. and you can only catch that from a direct bite into your bloodstream.
Can you let her finish?
Yep.
Direct bite or a scratch from a lyssavirus positive bat, and remember that's less than 1% have it. So that's the only way you can get it, and there is a vaccine available. We are all vaccinated, but there's also a post-vaccine if somebody gets bitten.
Right.
However,
okay, so Shane, let's get this cleared off the table.
Yeah.
Do you think the coronavirus came from a bat, or is that some BS because they released it from that lab? What is your expert opinion?
I don't have an expert opinion. I have a personal opinion, and I think it was manufactured in a lab and released. And
there you have it. That's
definitely didn't come from a bat.
And I have heard, and there's a lot going around at the moment, but I have heard that a lot of scientists have said it's actually biologically impossible for that to have mutated and gone from one species to another. Bats get blamed for a lot of stuff. They get blamed for everything, but
got a bad rap.
They do the poor things.
Yeah, but that's my personal opinion. As I say, I don't have an expert opinion. I could make out I do, like the rest of the world make out their expert opinion.
Well,
it's my
from your pretend medical degree from Bat University. Yes.
One would think.
We've done a lot of research and things like that. Yes. So from what I've heard about it, it seems like it's not really possible that it was from a bat. It's more likely to be manufactured and released, whether on purpose or accidental. Who knows?
With the amount of time that bats and humans have been on this earth, this would have come out long before, if that were the case.
Yes.
So I concur with your unexperted opinion.
Yes, thank you.
Well, and also question too. I was reading something too that most animals run hotter than us, and a lot of viruses that work in us don't work in animals because they are too hot for them to survive. And I believe that coronavirus, like for it to have mutated for like either bats to carry it or for us to carry it or whatever. Well, obviously we carry it, or for us to carry it or pass on, it would be very rare just because of the temperature differences between us as organisms. But
well, we kind of don't believe in animal experimentation either for the very reason.
Right.
The differences between the biology and things like that. So,
right.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of speculation out there. The planet we're living on at the moment is well and truly, I'm not going to say it. I'm going to try and be couth about it, but it's not. There's a lot going on out there, so I think you have to kind of just make your own mind up about things and just run with it. Everybody's entitled to their opinion and how they want to face what's going on. So
I think, Sam, in fact, I'm going to direct this to you, is that working with animals in the zoo, that that in nature, the animals actually have their own immunity, which works exceptionally well with all sorts of zoonotics and viruses, etc. Whereas us humans, I think what we've done over a period of centuries is that we've diminished our capabilities with our immune system to be able to reject foreign invaders that come into our body. And probably in the 1900s, when was it, when penicillin came into being, that we have diminished that.
I've also heard along the same lines as what you're saying, is that moving off the farm and into the cities has diminished our immunities because you picked up more dirt or whatever, and you're exposed to more things.
Exactly.
And therefore you may have better immunities there. So I don't know if that's totally true, but it sounds logical.
I think so, because animals are still the way that they were hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years ago.
Right.
Well, of course, we've interfered with them, in recent years.
So you have a big hill to climb doing PR for bats, I would think, in terms of people are just freaked out with bats and they don't even know all the wonderful things that they do. But bats are important to nature, and so I'm sure you're going to tell us about that.
And they're beneficial for humans because, the little microbats eat a bunch of bugs. And it's like, you got people bitching about the bats and people bitching about the bugs. It's like, okay, well, do you want bats or bugs?
Yeah.
I'll go bats.
Except for when they're fruit bats.
Yeah.
Right, except for when they're fruit bats. But the little teeny ones that we have here, like, I love seeing them out because I'm like, good, eat all those goddamn mosquitoes. Go for it. Like, I if I can catch some and feed you, I will. You know, like, do it, finish, destroy them.
Okay.
Well, we're really on a hiding to nothing when it comes to getting the public's perception of bats changed from what they're taught. You know, they're taught they're dirty, they're filthy, they carry lots of diseases, they're a menace. You know, so our education to them is really to make them understand them more, make them understand how essential they are to the planet as well. I mean, we know that they pollinate and they propagate around 70% of the hardwood eucalypts along the east coast of Australia. So without those bats planting seeds, making new trees, pollinating, and they pollinate at night time when birds and bees are asleep. So there's a lot of night pollination goes on, or night flowering gums, and that's their job. So while we're asleep doing nothing, they're out there planting forests and making the world a better place. So a lot of people don't realise that. They worry about koalas not having trees, and they worry about things like that. But, you know, without the flying foxes, we wouldn't have the trees and we wouldn't have the forests that we do. So their work is just amazing. So we try to give facts as well as talk about the myths. You know, by giving them the facts, you're dispelling the myths. Same with the diseases. You know, lots of diseases they carry, and as I said, there's lyssavirus here in Australia. It's Australian bat lyssavirus. Less than 1% of the population carry it, and you can only get it by being bitten or scratched. So it enters your bloodstream. You can't get it from wee, you can't get it from poo, you can't get it from blood, you can't get it from anything else. And so,
do you guys have a website, by the way? Because I was trying to find it, but I didn't find it. So
can you stalk them after the show?
No, I wanted to just go on their site to get more information.
We're Fauna Rescue of South Australia. That website's being updated, I think, at the moment with more information. They're getting a lot of work done on it.
So what is it called?
It's Fauna Rescue of South Australia.
FAUNA?
Yes.
R-E-S?
Yeah, good. Yeah, give the whole podcast a spelling lesson. Thank you.
R-E-S.
So Pauline and I have both been with Fauna Rescue, and then this Talking Batty education team evolved.
Fauna Rescue with Sundays? Is that you?
No, of South Australia, SA.
South, and do .au.
I did. Well, this is Fauna Rescue.
Okay, I don't know what you're finding. Okay, anyways.
Sundays.
Okay,
isn't that a...
that's not them. No, that's not them. No, that's not them.
Part of our country, the Whitsundays.
A long way.
A long way from us.
Long way.
Yeah.
Right.
They're in Adelaide.
So just in how we got into it and that, Pauline and I have both been with Fauna Rescue, and it was doing the rescues and seeing people's attitude to them when we get called out for rescues and things like that we decided that we needed to get this education team together and go out and educate as many people as we can. So so that's what we do, and also with
here we go.
That's how you do it.
Are you associated with the here it is, Wildlife Rescue Workshop?
Oh my God.
Fauna Rescue.
Fauna Rescue itself.
That's them.
Yep. That's us.
Christ.
Yes,
all right. So anyway,
I think Sam was going to ask a question, were you?
Oh, you Sam, go ahead.
No, I wasn't. Well, I kind of was, but I was going to wait till later just in case we started talking about it and I didn't know. So when you guys say you rescue, so there's a lot of videos online that you can find on YouTube or little clips of a cute little bat wrapped in a blanket getting a banana shoved in its mouth and chewing a big piece of banana and being real cute. You know what I mean? Is that what you guys do? Do you guys do rehabilitation as well? Not just rescue, you rehabilitate.
Sam,
and you
got to see their Instagram. I know I've sent you pictures from it. I know I've sent you pictures.
Yeah, we get out for rescues, and if they're adult rescues, they go to. We've got people who work, so they can sort of only look after the adults because they only need to be fed once a day or in the evening for the adults. Pauline and I are retired, so we look after the babies, the orphans, because they need bottle feeding 3, 4, 5 times a day. And but all of them get rehabilitated and released back into the colony, into the wild. So, and in South Australia, in Adelaide here, we've only got one colony.
Okay, I was going to ask, how do you know which colony they came from and where it is? No, that helps.
Interstate, they have a lot, but in Adelaide, we've only got one colony. So we released them back into their colony, and we released 3 last weekend, didn't we? Yeah, three adults who'd been in care. One was a barbed wire injury. We rescued the Yes, but one of them was a pregnant little lady, so she was having her first baby, so we rescued her. Thankfully her injuries weren't too bad, and she's got better, and she was released. Another barbed wire release,
another female barbed wire,
and another little boy who was found on the ground flat and almost dead. He was taken to the zoo, and we picked him up, and he was looked after by our adult carer, Jackie, and we went on the weekend and released 3 of them back to their colony. So it's quite amazing, opening up the cage and watching them fly out of the cage and back up to the trees again.
I was funny. Yep. Girls,
that's awesome.
Bittersweet though.
Yeah,
bittersweet.
What is the criteria that you have in order for them to be released? And are you near Modbury North, South Australia?
Okay.
Is that you, Modbury North?
Modbury is between the 2 of us, but why?
For like the millionth time, they're in Adelaide for like the
I understand that,
time.
but I'm looking at Fauna Rescue of South Australia, and that's it's come.
That's our mailing address, Modbury North. That's it. You've got us.
Yes.
Right. You're doing koalas. You're doing kangaroos. You're doing it all.
Yes.
Fauna Rescue.
And you're the Batty experts. So, okay, get back to my question. Do they have to pass some tests to say, okay, I can go back home or go back out, or do you make a judgment call, or how do you determine that this guy or gal is ready to go back out?
Yeah, well, just the extent of their injuries. Now we have a consultant, Linda Collins, who has been working with bats for more than half of her life, and she is our go-to for everything. She has written all of our notes. Any problems at all, we call Linda. She can assess, but just by how they're reacting, how their injuries are healing, their behaviour, what they're eating, if they are eating, if they're eating enough, all that kind of thing. So it's all, and look, when we do release them, we take them out to the colony and release the adults from a cage. We sort of don't really know, depending on their injuries. Some of them you think, well, why have they come to ground in the first place? Some injuries are not always obvious. So you kind of take them out. They seem to be fit to be released, so we take them out and we release them, and we're crossing our fingers and hoping that they can fly, a lot of them, because we haven't seen them fly since their injury. So, but most of the time we've got we have pretty good advice, and it's just observation by people who look after them, and their behaviour, what they're doing at the time, if they're putting on weight, or many different factors.
And it's experience too, isn't it?
Yeah, and it is.
When you say it's observation, it's experiencing it. Yeah. The babies.
Do you guys? I don't know how to say it. Do you guys like band them or anything? So once you release them, you can be like, oh, look, there's that one we saved a year ago, and stuff like that.
We do. All our breed babies are microchipped. So.
Good.
Yeah, and they're banded so that we know if they ever come down again, and that's probably the biggest fear from us carers who raise babies from a couple of days old and set them free. Our biggest fear is, well, we've got a juvenile called in, to be a rescue, and we kind of go, oh, are they banded, with one of our babies? But yes, we do. In answer to that, we have a bander who does that, so we can keep track on those if they do come back down again.
Well, I have a comment that I have to make.
Oh, God damn it. Go ahead.
My comment is on the website, which is very lovely.
Oh, back to
It
the
talks
website.
about
Okay.
kangaroos. It talks about koalas. It talks about joeys.
Yes,
It
they're
talks
really
about possums. It talks about lizards. It talks about birds.
Yeah, good.
And it doesn't
Read
talk
through
about
everything.
bats.
No.
What's up with that?
They're working on it.
That's been updated. That's what
They're
we
being
said.
it's being updated.
Yeah,
It is updated or it's being
No,
updated?
it's being updated. It's actively being updated.
All right. So when do we get to see the bats?
that section because the bat team and the things we do has expanded a lot. Remembering we've only had flying foxes here in South Australia since 2010. So they are still,
so are they introduced?
no, they're not. They've come in from interstate. They've been along the east coast of Australia, been up for a long time, but because of they can fly up to 50 kilometres a night, and food scarcity among other states. They found their way into Adelaide because obviously their feeding grounds weren't as good where they were, and they come to Adelaide and they find the feeding's great, and they've told all their friends, obviously. So
we have perfect weather.
Yeah, we do, and we actually have the best winter feeding for them, better than.
Okay.
So the flying foxes we get in during winter, who are injured or we have to rescue, are in fabulous condition because our food sources here over winter are really good for them. So when I started with the bat team, we had about 3,000 flying foxes in our total colony here in Adelaide, and the last count we've done was about 28,000 we've got here now. So they've definitely told their friends to come to Adelaide.
So is this one species or are there various species?
The only species of flying foxes we have here are the grey-headed flying foxes. And they're also endemic to Australia. They're not found anywhere else outside of Australia, the grey-headed.
Well, maybe you can take a little pressure off the kangaroo and koala and get them as your national or country-specific animal.
We're working on it.
But they're also listed as vulnerable species, and they're also protected as well.
So are you guys doing anything for bat habitat in addition to rescue, or is it just rescue?
Well, we have currently at their colony, particularly, we've had a lot of plantings going on now because interstate they have with many colonies, they can sort of rotate a little bit, the trees that get used and things. Here in Adelaide, we've got the one colony, and a lot of the trees start to get quite degraded over a period of time. So it's, a little bit too late. It should have been done a long time ago. But anyway, it's been done now. So we've got a lot of plantings going on in the colony. And, hopefully soon we'll have a lot more.
So these guys have a big wingspan. It's 1 meter, which is about 36 inches. So that's a pretty big wingspan. These are not little bats.
They can be quite big. They're absolutely spectacular to watch them flying.
How do they like people? Are they, I suspect if you're helping them out, they like you more. But I mean, are they shy of how's the interaction with humans? What would you describe it?
Shy. Yeah. But I think it's a funny thing when you pick them up when they're injured. They seem to know that you're helping them, and know Sam probably working with animals is they know there's some instinct in them that they
absolutely do.
You're not going to harm them. So
they're not vicious at all. No. For being a wild animal who's never had contact with a human, they're up high in a tree and they see humans walking around. They've had no contact with a human. 99% of them, when you rescue them, you can wrap them up and they're calm and trusting. They're not vicious or anything like that. So they're amazing animals to look after. Yeah. They truly are.
So
I have a question. No, my turn. You've talked like 5,000 times.
Go ahead. After you, I go.
Thank you. So, I've seen like in multiple videos, they're on Facebook, they're on Twitter, whatever, Instagram, whatever. And then even on y'all's Instagram page. I've seen them. What is the purpose of swaddling the babies? Is that for warmth? Is that to protect their little wings? Or is that for all the above?
Would you like a little demo? We have,
Yes, please.
Yes.
Please show us bat swaddling. Please show us bat swaddling.
We haven't got Pauline or operator camera here. I can give you a little bit.
I'm the camera operator. Oops.
All right.
Add that to your resume.
It's okay.
I can.
Wow.
Oh, there we go. I can give you a bit of a demo while we're on the baby thing.
Yeah.
And I can tell you when we get the babies initially. Now these are not.
That's a fat bat.
And shall we do the disclaimer?
Healthy.
This is no harm to an animal.
Yeah, that's right. This one's actually
That's right. Disclaimer.
it's actually a key ring. However,
You come to the camera.
oh, sorry.
Yeah.
This one's a key ring. So what we do with these, this is how we look after them and feed them with their little bottles upside down. But the reason we wrap them is because that's how their mums carry them. So the mums have the nipple under their wing pit. So the babies are hanging on to their mums, and the mum wraps her wings around them to keep them secure. So we wrap these bats we replicate the mum's wings. We fold their wings and we wrap them pretty tight like this, and they feel secure as if they're in their mum's wings. And so
they like being a bat burrito. They enjoy being bat burritos.
Bat burrito.
Indeed. And this is how we feed the babies. We have their little bottles and we feed them. Naturally, they're fed upside down because they're upside down animals. So I'm not sure, after looking after bats, if I could look after another species of animal, because I want to keep turning them upside down to feed them. So they're in a basket when they're little babies. And then as they get bigger and start around about 4 weeks old, we put them on a closed area. So Pauline's going to, can you see that area? It's a closed area where we have,
we call that a drying rack, but okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for
It's
the
a bat rack. First of all, it's a bat rack.
So we
there
have,
you go.
We have a little
And
hammock
there's our model.
That's how they hang on the areas and flap their wings. And in here we have a little hammock. Can you get that one in there, Pauline?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a little hammock. So we wrap them up after the feed. We put them in their little hammock like that.
It's so
upside
adorable.
down.
That's so clever.
And then they begin to wriggle out of their wrap, and then they'll get on their hammock and
eventually.
Yeah, and then they just end up hanging. And then as they get older and start wanting to flap their wings, you might have a few of these areas in your house. And at night time, there's no need for TV because you just watch them having flapathons.
Yeah.
Flap, flap, flap. And the next one will see one flap, flap, flap. And then the other one will start flap, flap, flapping. And they're quite amazing. So that's.
Do they ever get caught up in your underwear while you're putting that on the drying?
I tell you what, a lot of us carers have had them, when you walk past, they grab you. So you might have one on your head, one on your back, and the only way you can get them off, you actually have to just undress yourself and take your T-shirt off or whatever. And and on the end, this is an important thing that we do. We have, I've got an apron here, and some people have a shirt or a T-shirt or whatever, and if you've got multiple babies in, you have their own T-shirt or apron when you feed them. So you wear that and it has your scent on them because you're their mum. And then you feed the next bat and you put their T-shirt on. And then you hang their T-shirt on their area and it smells of you. So most of the time they end up cuddling up on their T-shirt or their apron because that smells of you. So it's important they have their own one because flying foxes are exclusively, one-on-one to their mum. So they don't really want the smell of another baby on there because it's kind of, that's my mum. So, yeah. So we do that.
So your bat nursery, I love it. I love the drying rack bat nursery. That's fantastic.
Oh, I've got to get
It's very
cool again.
Yes.
So do they imprint on you then, since you're a, surrogate mom? Does that happen?
No, not really. I mean, they're very attached to you and they don't want to share you with another baby. That's why we don't ever sort of cuddle two babies at once or anything like that, because they want you to themselves. But look,
Then you're having baby fight club.
Creche, and we call it creche after we've raised them. About 12 weeks old, they go to creche, and because they've been hand reared by a human, they haven't really known how to be a bat. So then we put them in creche with all the other babies, and they learn from each other and they learn how to be a bat. And I think it's fair to say that they probably forget us quicker than we forget them, which is a good
Oh, for sure.
It's a good
Okay.
thing.
For sure.
We miss them forever, but as soon as they get with
Right.
their own kind in creche and learn to be a bat, they're happy.
Right. Good.
I have a question for you, or two. It says here, what is the predator of the gray-headed flying fox? Predators known to eat flying foxes include carpet pythons, goannas. I don't Goannas. What is that?
Big
Lizards.
lizards.
Oh, it is. Okay, sea eagles and a powerful. And then there's currawongs
Sound
and
it out.
ravens. What's currawong?
Sound it out.
They're like
C-U-R-R.
That's what we call the crow or the raven. Big black bird.
Oh, yeah. Currawongs and ravens are known to attack flying foxes on their own in the daytime. These predators are not
Eek.
significant. Okay, and then they like fig trees. So do you feed them figs or you feed them bananas?
Sorry?
We don't feed them bananas.
Do you feed them figs or bananas? It says they like figs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they
Yeah,
do. They love figs, and no, bananas are only adults, and that's only for a little treat, because flying foxes don't actually eat fruits. They pulp all their food, so they're actually nectar and pollinators. They don't go for normal, apples and pears and things normally, unless their preferred food supply is in shortage. So pollen and nectar is their main food source. Native fruits, which have massive hard shells, that's why they have such sharp teeth. And then if that's in short supply and they will go to fig trees and apple trees and pear trees and things like that. So but when we have them in care, the babies in care, we feed them mostly apple with a high protein supplement on it.
Peanut butter.
Oh, God, no.
That would be a wreck.
So they pulp the food. So they chew it and chew it and spit it out, and they drink the juice. So their diet's pretty much liquid, and and it goes through their system in about 20 minutes from the time it goes in to the time it comes out. It's about 20 minutes.
Well, I can hear it dropping on my concrete.
Well, hold on. If they're upside down, how does that come out?
You want a demo here? So,
yes, I'd like to see
I
that.
think we need another demo.
Yeah, squeeze the belly of that big fat bat there, and let's see what happens.
This one is got a hanger on it, but they're hanging here with their feet, and these are their thumbs. So they have 5 fingers, exactly the same as we do. So, so their thumb is the little bit that sticks up at the top. So when they're hanging and they want to go to the toilet, they will flip up like this, hang by their thumbs, do their business, and then they give a little shake like this to get rid of the drip.
Yeah. I can resemble that remark. Yes, I totally get it.
Then they flip back up again and hang. So it's just a complete.
It's super cute.
Extremely clean.
Extremely
All right.
animals, yeah.
So, do you know a person named Bev Brown?
Where are you getting this?
I'm getting it from the internet. It's this person that said, "Our flying
it's
fox
on the
is
internet.
intelligent."
It must be true.
A rescued gray-headed flying fox pup is looked after by wildlife caretaker Bev Brown. I don't know if she's from down under, but the bats are extremely intelligent, Brown says, and will call out to their caretakers when they see them coming. Do they call out to you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, we don't know Bev Brown, but yes, we know about looking after baby bats.
Yes,
that's for sure.
And they are highly intelligent. Yes.
Very.
Okay.
Yeah. We had
Sam,
we did a lot of training.
Sorry?
Huh?
Didn't yours scream at you when they? I mean, they
Yeah.
they knew when
They
you
do
guys
that like loud high pitched like scream click that they do.
Yeah.
So imagine.
Yeah, they were very vocal. They're very vocal things.
5 children the same age.
Yeah.
And they all.
Yeah, but we did at the zoo we did a lot of operant conditioning training just for a lot of healthcare things so they can participate in their own healthcare. That's what we like to do in the zoo field. So, and we would do the training sessions for the keeper chats, and every single keeper chat, there was more than one person that was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe that you can train that bat to do that." I was like, you can train anything to do anything. But they were so like surprised at how intelligent a bat is. Because sorry, that's
what is that? Is that your bat call?
That was my crickets.
So here's an interesting question. Obviously, you don't have vampire bats, but it says that's the only mammal that feeds entirely on blood, and bats are the only mammals that fly, which I didn't think about that, but yeah. But do your bats like a little sangria every once in a while, maybe?
What is your problem? What is your problem?
No, we don't have vampire bats, although they are very cute and they can actually run. They can actually run rather than.
Oh, that's right. They do that weird walk thing.
Yes. But no, we don't have them here. No.
That's one of the things I always wanted to take care of in the zoo, because there are a few zoos that have vampire bats.
Yeah.
And I would love to take care of them. They are so cute.
Well, I didn't know that a baby was called a pup.
Bats are so, yeah.
Yeah, I heard that vampire bats are very friendly.
Little pups.
Like, I mean,
yeah.
I know we don't have them, but yeah.
I know. I wish we did. I know. Yeah. But I love all bats.
Oh, yes.
So do we. So tell us about some of your rescue missions. I mean, not to be too gory, but go ahead, give us the, I guess, worst ones you've had, and then some.
Or the best ones.
Yes, give us the worst and the worst of the worst and the best of the best.
Okay, well, I'll start with, because I'm a hotline operator, which is something that I absolutely love, and it's a 24-hour, 7-day line that's open for the public to ring us. So I do 2 days a week. And I think the first port of call to be able to talk to a member of public right up front at the rescue point is fantastic. They ring through, so we have to get all the details, where they are, what the bat's like, send a photo, then we send a rescuer off. And so I think the worst ones that we've done have definitely been the electrocutions. Yeah. Here in South Australia, the way our power grid is set up, they don't die immediately, whereas on the eastern states, they more likely die immediately. So with us, unfortunately, we get there and they're still alive. The power network company here is fantastic now. We've really developed a great relationship with Linda Collins that Shane talked about earlier. She meets with them regularly, has a great open relationship with them, constantly with exchanging data, and so they'll call us immediately. That is probably the most traumatic to attend, because they can have body parts blown off.
They got feet blown off, wings blown off, half of the face, and they're still alive. One of our rescuers found pieces over meters and meters apart, and that is, she was traumatized from that. And she was one of our new rescuers, which was terrible. Yeah. The second then comes in at barbed wire, and we've attended barbed wire ones, especially this year. Do you have barbed wire, everywhere over there in the States?
Yeah, it's quite popular,
mostly for farms. Just in farms,
and metropolitan areas. I mean, it's just
industrial prisons.
That's it on top of a fence, so they prevent people from crawling over the fence.
That's what I'm saying. But then things get caught in that too, though.
All sorts of animals get caught in it, and that's a difficult rescue. And most of the ones, I think we've only had one deceased one this year that we attended together, and it had been deceased about 4 days, hadn't been seen. But we're going to do something about that in the future. So part of the bat education team is, and then netting. The next thing is fruit tree netting. And we have already started a project with the fruit tree netting to get people to stop using the inappropriate netting, which captures and strangles all sorts of wildlife. And we're doing the netting bags, which I have a sample here that we've had made. And this we will slip over the fruit, and we will also be able to eliminate the problem of fruit fly, because we have fruit fly, in Australia. And it's come here in South Australia now. We've been fruit fly. free for a long time.
Fruit fly.
Tongue twister.
No, we've been drinking wine, but not before October.
So barbed wire is going to be a project we want to do too in the future to try and get that eliminated as well. But everywhere we do a rescue from barbed wire, the owner of the property goes, we've got to get rid of this. We didn't realise that this was good, because it's traumatic for them as well to see that. A trap.
It is.
Well,
it is.
That's probably what unfortunately, that's usually what the general public needs to get their head out of their asses. They need to see the gory stuff, like a crisp bat or a bat with its wings torn up, and to get it.
Well, they also have to understand the benefits of bats. Otherwise, they think it's a pest.
Well, that's right. That's one of the things we do. We explain to people every time we go and do a rescue. We always make sure we get in the bit about how important they are to the environment. It's not, it's not just a rescue. It's also always an opportunity to educate as well.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question about the pollination and things like that. So here in the States, and I'm sure in Australia as well, we use bees, and they're very important in agriculture for almonds and certain crops. Do bats have any similarity to that with respect to pollinating crops that people would be concerned about and, encourage?
Well, I think I don't know of anything specifically, but what they do is because we have a lot of night flowering gums here, and the birds and the bees are asleep. They're not pollinating those. So the bats, because they're out flying out at night time, they do the pollination of the night flowering gums. So there may be something specific. I don't know. We'll have to find out that one. But
And I think the advantage to the bats, the similarity to bees and bats is bees only pollinate in their own short area. They can't travel that far, whereas bats, as Shane's already said, can travel 50 kilometres away. That's
30 miles about in freedom units.
Yeah. So there's the diversity that we're getting.
So what do you do if for some for whatever reason a bat survives being electrocuted? I mean, do you have to put it down, or can you save it?
Yeah, they don't. I mean, I've had one an electrocution that had no visible signs. Most of them are just horrendous, but this one had no visible signs, and we've got a fantastic vet here who's been working with flying foxes for many years, and she's just amazing. She's always there for us, 24 hours a day. We can even have kitchen consults with her, so she's great. So, but I said, this one, there's no signs or anything. And she said, there'll be internal signs and that. And I just didn't want to have her euthanized because I thought, and she said, all right, we'll just see how it goes. But anyway, no, the internal damage was too much. Even though it's not outward damage, there's internal damage. That's right. So, yeah. But as I say, very few of them have little signs of damage. The great majority of them have missing body parts, and it's horrific.
Right. And then for the barbed wire, do you have to stitch their wings up, or can their wings naturally heal, or are some just kind of incapacitated for life?
No, their wings heal really.
What are you doing?
Sorry. Sorry.
What is happening?
Sorry. I was queuing up something.
No queuing up anything.
He's gonna try to find a song. Is it a bat song?
Or is
I
it
want to know if the bat
song?
phone is red. Is the bat phone red? Yes or no?
No.
It's gold.
Yeah.
Gold.
Right. Oh, gold is better.
So the wings will heal themselves.
The wings do heal. They can sort of get infected and die back a little bit to the holes, but they do heal really well. And but very often you'll go out to the colony and you will see a bat flying with
sunlight comes
through. The sunlight with a hole in their wing.
So what is that wing material like? Is it skin, or is it what is it like?
I think the closest you could say is if you feel your eyelid, you shut your eye and you feel your eyelid, what that's like, it's probably the closest to that kind of texture. It's not sticky.
It's real soft.
It's smooth. It's just they look. And I think when you start looking after them, that's probably most of us frightened by the wing, because you think they're so delicate and you don't want to open their wing in case you break it. And that, but they're actually really tough. Yeah, they're really tough.
Yeah.
But it's
super thin.
You
can see
texture. Yeah.
But very cool.
Sam, didn't one of your bats just kind of have this like chronic kind of like condition?
Yeah,
with the holes?
Marge had this weird condition that they never really could figure out why, but she would just have holes in her wings. Like we came in one day and she had holes all in her wings. So
she might have been a Swiss bat.
She may have been.
Jesus.
But yeah, she had this thing, and then we medicate her with whatever they medicated her with, just in case. And her wings would heal right back up, but then months later there'd be another hole for some reason, and we always made sure there wasn't anything she was catching them on.
She probably had some kind of vitamin deficiency. I'll bet you it was a vitamin.
We gave her all kinds of stuff.
You just gave her bananas. We know that's your favorite food to give.
We did give her bananas.
When you asked the zookeeper, what do you feed to animals? Bananas, like 90. If you hit bananas, you're like 99.9% of all the animals like bananas.
We do feed a lot of bananas to everything, but no, Marge just had and that was one of the things we did with Marge. When she started having those problems, we started wing training everybody, so we wouldn't have to touch them or interfere or be intrusive in their business. We trained them to open their wings for us so we could do wing checks every day. So that was fun. Yeah. And they caught on to that really well.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was... Yeah. Oh, and you talked about how they eat nectar and things in the wild and we did not give this to them all the time because it was pure sugar water, I think. But there's cans. It comes in a blue can here. It's called like nectar or something. I think it's a Mexican drink, but it's some kind of sugar water. But we use that for training. We would put it in a syringe, and they would do anything for this nectar stuff.
You turned them into crackheads. Good job, Sam. You turned your bats into crackheads.
Yeah. And now they have to get
we fed them nectar for
diabetic
training. Yeah. Yes. No, they were all in pretty good shape. We weighed them once a month. Just to make sure they were healthy.
Oh yeah, so do you guys have to do that with especially with the babies? Are you weighing them daily and tracking and making sure all their
poop?
We do it weekly and report our stats every week. So we do their forearm measurements and we do their weights weekly, and that gives a good forearm measurement for babies gives a pretty good indication of their age, and then there's a weight to forearm ratio which tells how well they're thriving. So we do that every week and report our stats in every week. So, so Linda keeps track of all of the babies in care, and, and that tracks how they're all going.
What are your favorite parts about being the Bat Ladies?
For me, it's the education part, because I'm a talker. Yeah. I haven't talked much.
Who would have thought I've bloody just talk non-stop?
Traditionally, I am.
Yeah, she's a talker.
Don't worry, I'll slap her around after.
There you go, perfect.
That's why I love being on the hotline, because it starts from the very first call. To give you an example, someone will ring and say, bats are living in my trees in the backyard. I can't sleep because they're making too much noise.
Can I just excuse myself for 5 seconds? Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Sure.
So I have that opportunity then to take the details, etc. I've got their phone number and I say to them, can I ring you back? And then after I've got the rescuer on the way, I ring them back and explain things to them. And like the call I had the other day, the woman was absolutely fearful. She said, I am so scared of them, and they're right near my bedroom. The tree was very close to her bedroom. And she said, I haven't slept for the last 3 nights. So by the time I finished the call with her, she's going to come to our events we're having at the end of this month in the colony. We're having colony tours. She's bringing friends. And she sends me a text message and says, "Thank you very much, lovely lady. I love chatting to you." Going from being fearful at the beginning of the phone conversation to being accepting and then saying, "Now I understand why they're there." That's the best part
that's great
for me of being in this team and being in the education team. As far as a baby carer, getting that first baby that is fragile, orphaned, ill, and being able to observe and do whatever I can for their survival, and when they are released, that is just gold.
That's awesome.
There's no words to explain.
So when you told your friends at the garden club that you were going to be doing the bat rescue, did they think you were a little batty, or what did they have to say about that when you told them?
Good one.
Oh,
it's very funny.
Okay. Everyone thinks, I think we were a bit batty before we were batty, to be honest. So I think it's expected that we're going to be quite batty.
All right, so they
My
didn't
kind of
have
people.
an issue.
No,
Well, we better let them go because it's
Yes, you guys actually do important work.
they do work, and if the bat phone rings, we have to see her run off, and
although I think we would all like to see you run to the bat phone.
Yeah, but
okay.
Let's go. The bats need you.
There it is.
Okay, so our hotline number, which I said is 24/7.
Yes.
8486 1139. That's in South Australia. Only in 08 is our area code. We only take calls from South Australian residents.
Oh, so we can't call you in California? I see how it is.
Call them just for fun.
I see how it is.
I love.
Will you get back to us when your website has bats on it
Oh my
besides
God.
the bat phone number?
Can you leave them alone without that?
Look at their Instagram page, our Talking Batty Instagram page. So it's Talking Batty.
I'm doing it right now.
Team. And we've got posts on there, and a lot of the posts there we've also have listed.
What are you doing? Turn that off. Fuck, they are talking.
Sorry, I was giving him the theme music.
No one wants your theme music.
That's what he was waiting for earlier.
Okay, we don't have the licensing or rights for that. You're gonna get us sued. Why do I keep having?
It's fair use. No. It's fair use.
It's not fair use.
Oh my God, you guys have got go. Oh my God, Instagram. Oh my God,
Instagram.
Yes,
oh my God.
So where can our listeners find you guys? Our non-South Australia, non-Adelaide listeners. Where can we find you guys?
Oh, we should start a Facebook page, shouldn't we, or something?
Yeah.
Well, Instagram's good.
Yeah, Instagram.
Wait a minute.
I find more people on Instagram these days than Facebook.
Is this you, the Batty Mama? Is that what you guys are?
It's Talking Batty Education Team on Instagram, and we post our rescues on there, bits of information, and also try to, most of the posts there will paste on all of the Australian rescue numbers for flying foxes. So they can have a look on that page and see some of the stories. And look,
we've got an album.
Just remembered.
Just a few.
We've got some photos here of some of our babies.
Oh, look at the little
I know.
darlings.
I was just looking at these.
Do you name these babies, or you don't want to anthropomorphize them?
That was Julian. This is he.
Oh, Julian.
I was just looking at that picture on the Instagram.
That's Heath.
Oh my God.
They were rescued from a heat stress event, almost dead. This is Romeo.
Oh,
that's one of Pauline's babies.
He was a beautiful, beautiful bat.
And
how soft are they? Are they really soft? Or are they kind of coarse?
Yes.
Like
yes. This is little
They're
Gray.
super soft. I think I like that one.
That's my little
Timmy.
Favorite.
That's my little Timmy there.
Timmy.
Oh my God, they're so freaking adorable.
I've seen on YouTube, there was a black bat that had blue eyes. I don't know if that's saying.
Don't know. Yeah.
No, I've never seen one like that.
This is Willow. I used to call her my little contortionist because she used to. That's her on her era, like we showed you before, making all of these funny little body positions. That's my little girl Tegan.
Oh,
that's adorable.
And I got her. She was about 1 or 2 days old and she had so many problems. She had pneumonia, she had a fungal infection, she had everything. And I thought I was going to lose her so often. She ended up being the heaviest, biggest bat that I've sent to creche.
Yes.
That's awesome.
That's Faith. That's
very nice.
She was a
little
beautiful.
Well, listen.
Faith. There's some
I
of the
think
little
he's getting-
babies all wrapped up with their dummies.
Oh, bat burritos. Your bat burritos.
Burrito.
With pacifiers.
Yeah.
Guys
All
get
right.
Is it?
yeah.
Oh, this is
Oh,
little
that's
Tina.
Tina.
This is
Yeah.
little
Tina.
She is a beautiful.
tiny
Beautiful
Tina.
name.
Liliana had a bat named Tina.
No. Just don't use my
This is
name.
Allison.
Don't use my full name.
Oh,
Dummy.
Oh yes, she used to get upset when the dummy fell to the floor. She used to scream.
That's Millie.
Oh yes, there she's going to the toilet there.
Millie's going to the toilet.
oh,
Yeah,
how
that's how
about
they
that?
go.
Thank you.
There she's going.
We call that the money shot.
Yeah. This is Juliet sucking her blanket.
Juliet.
That's awesome. That's so adorable.
Spider.
These faces.
Oh, yeah.
Nearly finished. That's Finn.
Look at that face.
That's my boy Finn.
Finn.
Cried for 3 days with Mum when I first got him. That's Lennon. I rescued him on the anniversary of John Lennon's death, so I called him Lennon.
Wow.
Oh.
That's little Aileen. My beautiful blonde boy Aaron.
Oh.
And Justin, little boy that I had a broken
It's like a
wing.
beard.
Those faces just kill me. Oh
Yeah.
my god,
All
those sweet little eyes.
Their eyes are so
Other
expressive.
microbats. So we also have microbats here as well. So this one
Yeah.
Oh.
are lesser long-eared.
Yeah, I was gonna say those ears are quite something.
Yeah,
the
they are.
echolocation. Yeah.
They are, yeah. And that's a picture of a mum there
Wow.
with her baby attached.
Isn't that neat? Look at that.
So
That's
wait, how
so
is that
cool.
baby attached? Is it like
Yeah.
duct tape or
a
what?
whole nother.
Yeah, the bets
I bet they wish
themselves.
they
There you
were.
go.
Like the mum's nipples in the wing pit, so the babies pretty much often can be just hanging by biting on that.
Look at that bat.
That's great.
Yeah.
Just by biting on the nipple?
Yeah.
And that,
Wow.
And that one
So
there's
you could be
a
running around with bunny biting on your nipple.
Yeah, there's a netted one.
that's a
not
netted one.
fun.
Oh,
We show
poor little
people the
thing.
damage that can be done with the netting.
Yeah,
So
not good.
yeah.
so how many babies have you read so far?
I've read 30 babies.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
That's
I've,
nice of you.
I've had 14.
Jeez.
And I remember
Wow.
every one of them, and I miss everyone.
Bet.
And I
Yeah.
Sure.
and you just you release them, and they don't have a good survival rate. Not just the hand reared ones, but wild
Right,
ones.
but just in general.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they only have one baby a year, and they only have a 30% chance of reaching 1 year old.
Wow.
So 70% of them don't ever get that chance because of all the dangers out there. So
Yeah.
it's pretty hard when you release them and you don't know what's going to happen to them. You just have to hope that they're all right out there.
Right.
Well, we want to thank you
Right.
for
Well,
your
we-
good
yes.
work. And
Yes.
I'm sure the bats appreciate you, and we do. And
Thank
when
you.
you get your website updated, we want to have you back on so we can see more about the bats than the possums and the kangaroos and the reptiles.
Yeah, try and keep us on.
Okay, you don't have to hate on the other animals.
No, I
Jesus
love
Christ.
the other animals. It's just the bats are not getting their fair share. And that's not
Then,
fair.
as I say,
They're working on it.
They're updating
They're working on it.
of it. But what we'd really love to do is talk to you again in baby season when
Yes.
we've got actual babies here.
That's what we want to see.
Yes. When
We
is
want to
baby
see a little
season?
baby.
Yeah. So you can
We want to see
us
bat
in
burritos.
People love babies
things.
of all
Yep.
sorts. So
Yes, we would love
that's
to
the
do
way
a-
that's the way to get to people is
Yeah.
with
Yes.
those babies.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
When is baby season? So I can note
Oh,
that down.
It's going to be starting anytime soon. It's normally from about October till February.
Oh, perfect.
But, we start, October, November, December, Maybe
So
baby.
that's
Your
interesting
summertime.
that they're having. Oh, it's your springtime.
Yeah, that's summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Although
going
it's
into
backwards.
we're going into fall. They're going into spring.
Yeah,
Yep,
Yeah,
that's
they're
spring.
done with their winter.
Okay.
I will say that was the weirdest thing. December, being in Australia in December, and it's like, you know, surfing Santa wasn't ironic. It's like it's actually 90 degrees Fahrenheit here, and yeah, I would be, if I was a fat man, I would be surfing too. So that was quite a twist. You know,
All right.
like the non-irony, like a hot Christmas. I was like, your Christmas is in summer. This is weird.
Go to Florida, you get the same thing.
Yeah.
All right,
too.
ladies. Thank
Thank you so much. Yes, and
Thank
please
you.
do
That
get in
was
touch about
amazing.
baby season, and we will
And,
definitely have you on.
Keep
Yeah,
spreading the truth about bats are not cutting coronavirus, please.
Yeah, we will
That's,
do.
that's
And thanks
important.
very much for having us. And we look forward to
Yes, you're a lot of fun.
talking to you again in baby
Yeah.
season.
All right.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes, we look forward to having you again. Thank you to everyone for listening. Be
Bye.
sure to check out Talking Batty and send us an email. Check out our Instagram, Talking Batty's Instagram.
Yes.
And yes, have a great evening or morning, depending upon where you are in the world.
All right. Thank you, guys. Kirk out.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guy.
Bye.